Today on Judge Faith, a rocky relationship ends in court.
I wanted to make it work with him. I thought that he was a good catch.
And he already has 4 kids by 3 different women.
Yes.
This is someone who you think is going to be responsible with you?
Another reason why our relationship didn't work, as well as the arguments, we also had physical situations.
This is the man you love, that you want to start a family with, and you're hitting him and spitting in his face.
Faith Jenkins. Her distinguished legal career began when she graduated first in her law school class. She quickly became a tough New York City prosecutor, and then a preeminent legal analyst on cable news. And now she's the judge in her own courtroom. Her cases are real, and her rulings are final. She is Judge Faith. Plaintiff Kadesha Cameron says her ex-boyfriend constantly disrespected her, led a double life, and stuck her with lots of unpaid bills. She's suing for unpaid rent and bills. Defendant Justin Parrish says he doesn't owe any money because he was forced to leave the relationship after Kadesha got physically violent with him. He's countersuing for pain and suffering.
All rise. Court is in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding. Please be seated. Your Honor, the litigants have been sworn in. This is the case of Cameron versus Parrish.
Thank you, Juan. Kadesha Cameron?
Yes, Your Honor.
You are suing the defendant Justin Parrish for $9,309 for unpaid rent, unpaid bills, and a car deductible?
Yes, ma'am.
You are countersuing, sir, for $5,000 for pain and suffering?
Yes, ma'am, that's correct.
Okay, we'll start from the beginning, Ms. Cameron. Tell me what's going on here.
Well, I met Justin back in June of 2013. I was working at Quick Trip, and he came in, and I thought he was really cute. We flirted with each other, and we ended up exchanging numbers and went on a few dates. I would say we've seen each other every single day for about 3 weeks. He ended up going...
So this is your former boyfriend?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
We actually started dating, exclusively.
In June of 2013?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I did cheat on him in the beginning of our relationship. It was a mistake. I was young, and I decided to kind of put that aside. I thought.
How old are you now?
I'm 22.
So you were 20 at the time?
Still young.
Yes, ma'am.
And how old are you?
I'm 24.
Okay.
Yes, so we started, like I said, we picked back up from our relationship. Like I said, I made a mistake, and I wanted to make it work with him. I thought that he was a good catch, and I was a good person, and I thought that we would be able to make it work. So after we let the bygones be bygones about me cheating on him, we started, getting back together. Everything was working, and then he ended up cheating on me.
Prior to that, she actually cheated again before I committed my infidelity situation.
Okay.
That's not true, Your Honor.
Okay, this was back in June of 2013?
This was more so July, August when the second time came around.
Okay,
after,
so within 2 months, you say she cheated on you twice.
Yes, ma'am, that's correct.
But you all went on to date for 2 years. Almost 2 years.
A little under 2 years, yes. Basically, in my situation, considering my past, no one's perfect.
What's your past?
I've, had my, I guess, selection of women, so to speak.
Do you have kids?
Yes, I do have children.
How many?
I have 4 total.
By how many different women?
3.
At 24 years old?
Yes, ma'am.
How old is your youngest?
She'll be 4 August 22nd.
So at 20 years old, you had 4 kids.
By the time I was 21, I had 4 kids. So 21.
Do you take care of them?
Yes, I do.
Pay child support?
I pay child support, and I have one that stays with me at home.
You meet him, he already has, at this point, 4 kids by 3 different women.
Yes.
And this is someone who you think is going to be responsible with you?
Well, if I can point out, like I said, Justin did take care of his children. I do understand we are young and we do make mistakes.
People do make mistakes. The key is going forward, you learn from your mistakes. And you don't make the same mistake 4 times.
Yes, ma'am.
So you're dealing with someone who doesn't just make mistakes, he's irresponsible.
Yes, sure.
I mean, it's commendable that he, as you said, he pays child support, he takes care of them, but you can't look past the fact that these are the choices that he's made.
Yes. We decided to, like I said, let bygones be bygones with the situation. He did take care of his children. He was great with them. He is educated. Like I said, mistakes are mistakes. And he from that point on, I didn't see any issue in regards to, dating a man that had children because he took care of them, considering people don't do that. So I thought that he learned from his mistakes. As we continued our relationship, like I said,
You just thought he was cute.
I thought it was more than him just being cute. That was the beginning. I'm not gonna lie. I did think that he was cute. He did have baggage, so did I. But like I stated before, he was educated and I'm educated, and I decided to let, as long as he took care of his children, I didn't see that as an issue.
Okay, go ahead.
So we continued dating. In September, he had a birthday party. For his birthday party, I took off of work, bought an outfit, got cute, because I wanted to, this is one of my first times actually stepping out in front of, multiple of his friends. When it was time to go to the actual party, I'm contacting him, he's not answering the phone. So I text him, continuously trying to text him and try to figure out, what was going on.
So what happened?
End up finding out that he stated that they already left to go to the club. I couldn't get in contact with him, and I thought that, something was going on.
Was something going on?
At that time, I didn't feel like it was 100% right to
so
bring her around.
You don't want to bring her into your personal space. You have 4 kids with 3 different women at this point, but you're concerned about bringing her into your personal space.
It's not personal space. It's
on your
my personal
birthday.
people, because they know what our relationship already entailed.
Was he with another woman or not?
No.
She was with another man that night.
So what was the point of this? Why are you telling me this?
Because I wanted
He didn't spend his birthday with you.
Correct.
Coming up, the damages are disputed.
How long did the 2 of you live together?
For over a year.
Okay, so you lived together for over a year. This happened right after the 2 of you moved in together. Why are you just bringing this lawsuit now?
The lawsuit was carried when he moved out.
Okay, and the 2 of you were living together, sleeping together, playing house together.
Yes,
now
Your
you're
Honor.
bringing him to court. So you obviously looked past the $500 deductible
No, I did not,
for
Your
a long
Honor.
time.
He was supposed
This
to
is your
pay me.
boyfriend.
No, Your Honor, that's not correct.
Plaintiff Kadesha Cameron says her ex-boyfriend stuck her with lots of unpaid bills. She's suing for unpaid rent and bills. Defendant Justin Parrish says he doesn't owe any money because he was forced to leave the relationship after Kadesha got abusive with him. He's countersuing for pain and suffering.
So then next thing you know, he goes on a cruise for his birthday. When he came back from the cruise, I haven't, spoke about it. I end up coming across some pictures of him on this cruise.
Was he with another woman?
Yes.
Who was she?
My son's mother.
Oh, okay. So
Okay,
this
so-
is the woman who you had a child with?
Yes.
And you went on the cruise for your
Yes,
birthday?
family trip together, yes.
Okay,
Family
so the 2
trip.
of you broke up after that, right?
Yes, ma'am. But
Okay.
as far as I'm concerned,
And you moved on
we was-
after that, right?
No.
No.
That's where
It was
you were
another
getting
mistake
at.
that
It
he
was
made
another mistake
that you're
he
going to
made.
look past?
But I did look. I
Due to
just
the
want to
mistake
point
she's
out
made.
that I did not know that was his child's mother.
You just thought he was on a cruise with his BFF?
No, he stated that he met the girl on the cruise because she was on a family cruise, a family reunion cruise, and he met her on the cruise.
Okay.
And
it's his child's mother, and you don't know that because he hasn't invited you into his
meet
personal circle to meet his personal people. So you know how to keep your lives separate.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
So, like I stated, the pictures
Lots
didn't
of better
show
words.
anything sexual or intimate between them. After the cruise, we bypassed that and we got back together. He asked to borrow my vehicle.
And this is a part of your lawsuit?
Yes, the part of my lawsuit. He wrecked my car. I had to pay $500 for a deductible for my actual vehicle that I paid $10 grand for, that he wrecked. And as far as I'm concerned, he also had the female in my car.
Did you have another woman in your car, in her car, and have an
No, I did
accident
not.
in it? You
I
had
was
an
actually
accident in
en
her car?
route to go see my child's mother. And I spun out of control
And
on
these
the
are
highway.
pictures of the vehicle,
Okay.
Your Honor.
That's the accident?
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's
they kept
the
going.
accident?
I lost control. They
Face.
kept going.
Your insurance didn't cover this?
They totaled it off.
Okay, you had to pay a $500 deductible is what you're suing for?
Yes, ma'am.
And why don't you think you owe for the $500 deductible?
Well, first of all, I was injured. I wasn't at fault in the situation. So as far as the other party, which I feel like
The insurance covered the cost of the car. It was totaled, and she submitted paperwork to the court, but she had to pay a $500 deductible. So my question to you is, why should she have to pay that versus you, the person who were driving the car?
it wasn't brought to me that, hey, you need to pay this $500 deductible.
Oh, this is the first time you're hearing about it?
As far as it being directly my responsibility,
No, Your
yes.
Honor, he knew
Okay,
about that.
all right,
know-
go
I
ahead.
know.
How long did the 2 of you live together?
For over a year.
Okay, so you lived together for over a year. This happened right after the 2 of you moved in together. Why are you just bringing this lawsuit now?
The lawsuit was carried when he moved out. When he went
So
away
after
from
the 2
what
of
he
you
owed.
broke up?
No.
Prior to the 2 of you breaking up, this $500 deductible was not an issue.
It
Okay,
was
let's
an
go
issue.
to the
He
next.
just didn't pay me for my money.
Okay, and the two of you were living together, sleeping together, playing house together.
Yes,
now
Your
you're
Honor.
bringing him to court. So you obviously looked past the $500 deductible
No, I did not,
for
Your
a long
Honor.
time. This was your boyfriend. How is that not correct? That's exactly what happened. How is that not correct?
Because of the fact that he was supposed to pay me. There was a lot of things that he stated that he was going to do and didn't do and went away from his word. He left
and yet
did not
still, he was
understood.
your boyfriend. You were living together, sleeping together, playing house together, and you looked the other way.
But I
now that
own
the
up
two
to
of
my
you have
mistakes
broken
and I
up,
pay for
you've
what
come
I
into
paid
court
for.
and you submitted a laundry list of damages here. I'm not saying that he doesn't owe. I'm just saying that's what happened. I mean, what world are you living in? At 21 years old, you decide you want to have a child with someone who already has 4 kids and who's cheated on you multiple times, who's not faithful to you. This is the person you choose, you want to have a child with and create a lifelong bond with?
After he stated that he made a mistake and he wanted to be a better person, he stated that me being in his life gave him the opportunity to make himself better, Your Honor. And I do believe in,
You're not thinking clearly, and you're not ready. You're not ready to have a child.
Coming up on Judge Faith, the fighting gets physical.
Well, first she threw her keys, hit me in my eye. As I'm holding myself, she runs up after she threw the keys. Things got physical.
So she's hitting you.
Yeah. Once I get her kind of under control, she
Did you
spits
do
in my
that?
face.
He made
you do
me,
that?
Your Honor. He made
I
me.
can't
He
make
was-
anybody spit in
made
my
you hit
face.
him?
No, I had to defend myself, Your Honor.
Plaintiff Kadesha Cameron says her ex-boyfriend constantly cheated on her with his baby's mother. She's suing for unpaid rent and bills. Defendant Justin Paris says he doesn't owe any money because he had no choice but to leave Kadesha. He's countersuing for pain and suffering.
Okay, go on.
His pit bull attacked my dog, and my dog was in a jeopardy of dying.
This was when the two of you were living together?
Yes, Your
And
Honor.
so the two dogs were together in the same household?
Right.
Dogs do what dogs do, and sometimes that means they fight. So the issue is someone negligent? What did the owner of the dog do? Was there any negligence involved? And here I have 2 dogs, the two of you who've been living together for a very long time. You're not telling me anything that he did that would contribute to his pit bull attacking your dog. Tell me about the bulk of your lawsuit, which is over $3,600 in rent. What's
For
that
the
about?
rent. When we moved in together, we both signed the lease, Your Honor, which I do have the documents to prove
me
to
see
you
that.
that we both signed that.
Did you sign the lease, sir?
I did. I have copies of it as well.
Okay. And the lease started when? When was the lease
July.
supposed to end?
August
Next month,
2015.
When did you move out, sir?
I moved out December of 2014.
The lease doesn't expire until August 2015, but you
Correct.
moved out December of 2014, so 9 months early,
That's
right?
correct.
Okay, so you broke the lease. Why did you do that?
I didn't, as well as the arguments, we also had physical situations.
What do you mean by that?
There were times she got upset and it got physical.
What do you mean by that?
She swung at me. Well, first she threw her keys, hit me in my eye. As I'm holding myself, she runs up after she threw the keys. Things got physical. I hold her down because, of course, I'm not trying to get hit.
So she's hitting you.
Yeah.
He
Did
made
you do
me,
that?
Your Honor. He made me.
I can't
He
make
was-
anybody
he
spit in
made
my
you hit
face.
him?
No, I had to defend myself, Your Honor. That's how it happened.
So he hit you first. you're
No, I
saying.
did throw my keys. It because we had a heated argument, and I threw my keys at him because he had a smart remark about how.
So I don't care about the remarks. You threw your keys at
Yes, Your
him,
Honor.
and what happens next? What do you do next?
I did.
You hit him. Go ahead.
One thing, domestic violence is not a good thing. I don't, and it's hard to plead your case
giving-
being a man and saying that you're the victim because it doesn't look, I guess,
No,
believable.
domestic violence goes both ways. That
Exactly.
is absolutely true.
This wasn't the first incident that this happened. One time, I guess, yeah, I
So
was at work.
you've been hitting him throughout the relationship?
Honor.
You've done it more than one time, though.
I hit him twice. Let's be correct. I did hit him twice.
And that's
More
2
like
times
3 or
too
4
many.
times,
That's
but-
2
And I do
times too
understand
many.
that.
Did you spit in his face?
I did spit in his face, Your Honor.
Okay, so you've hit him at least twice that you admit to, and you spit in his face.
Yes, Your
Okay,
Honor.
that is, you're assaulting him. This is the man you love, that you want to build a family with, that you want to start a family with, and you're hitting him and spitting in his face.
And then he cheated and he lied, and it's also two sides
Both
to
of
the
you
story.
are, you're missing the point. You're missing the point. Because if this were a man admitting this in court, you have to understand people would be all over you. And I'm not going to let you slide because you're a woman. abusing him and you are committing domestic violence against him, and then you want to come in and sue because the relationship didn't go the way you wanted it to go. But then you're going to come into court and you admit that you are committing domestic violence against him. And you want to gloss over that.
No, I'm not glossing over it, Your Honor. My thing is that if I sit there and do what I say I'm going to do, we both make mistakes if I stated before.
There are no excuses for it.
There is no excuse, and I'm not making an excuse.
There are no excuses for it. You're wrong. You're wrong, period.
I do
And you need to grow
that.
up. Both of you do. Both of you do. What is your counterclaim about?
My counterclaim, basically, prior to that situation, I also have a police report where she actually came to my job and put her hands on me while I was on the clock, broad daylight. Which I have a copy right here.
You did that at his job?
Yes, Your Honor. And that was the second hit that I was.
So now you're messing with his livelihood. You're going to go up to his job and cause him to lose his job because you're up there acting a fool.
Coming up, Judge Faith rules. And now, Judge Faith rules.
When that situation happened, we weren't even in our second apartment yet. So
why is that relevant?
Because what I'm going to say is that if he felt like he was in danger, supposedly, or he felt like he was in a situation, he shouldn't have had signed the lease.
Let me tell you something. I handled domestic violence cases as a prosecutor, and I will tell you there are a number of reasons people continue to stay in them. And I think both of you have abused each other in different ways. But when the physical abuser comes and says, well, why did they stay with me? Why did they continue their relationship with me? It happens in most cases. Most instances, especially most of my cases dealt with women, the women always stayed. They rarely left. We had to convince women to continue their cases against their abusers. They wanted to go back, drop the cases because they're not thinking clearly. They're not seeing clearly. There are a number of issues involved. So what you just said to me right there, that is the typical response of people when they're in abusive relationships. They find ways to continue until they get out of the cycle. Because I can't fix your lives and the decisions that you made when you decided to move in together and do all these things together. And the number one thing I can't fix, I can't give either one of you the self-esteem you need to make better choices. You have to find that on your own. You have to find that on your own. I'm not going to order you to pay back rent, because I am not going to order someone who is clearly in an abusive relationship who leaves to pay rent. I'm going to order you to pay half of the vet bill, $850. In addition, I'm going to order you to pay the $500 deductible for the car, which I believe you owe, for a total of $1,350. On your counterclaim, I think you both suffered emotionally as a result of this relationship, but a monetary award is not going to help you. A judgment call and both of you making better choices is what's going to help you. Judgment in this case for the plaintiff, $1,350.
I do appreciate the advice that she gave me in regards to trying to be a better person and not allowing my anger to get the best of me. I will take that into consideration and continue to move on and do see a therapist to make sure that my anger does not control my life, and I plan to become a better person.
At the end of the day, I'm very grateful that, she gave us good advice as far as what we should do in the future, as far as relationships, dealing with other people, and responsibilities in general.
Today on Judge Faith, a day of drinking ends in a fierce fight.
She bit me, my fingers started bleeding, I started freaking out, and they saw the blood, and then eventually she probably came to, like, she's bleeding, and then it stopped.
She had stuck her finger in my eye and it was blackening up here.
You don't know exactly what happened because you were all very drunk.
And later, she went to serve our country and thought he was paying their bills.
While I was gone, I was still gonna continue to pay rent, but the utilities were not gonna fall under me.
She asked me if she could only pay the rent.
How do you expect someone to foot all the bills in the house without really giving them notice that that's going to happen?
Faith Jenkins. Her distinguished legal career began when she graduated first in her law school class. She quickly became a tough New York City prosecutor and then a preeminent legal analyst on cable news. And now she's the judge in her own courtroom. Her cases are real and her rulings are final. She is Judge Faith. Plaintiff Aisha Robertson says her former friend got drunk and started a fight with her, causing serious injuries. She's suing for pain and suffering and medical bills. Defendant Laura Thompson admits they got very drunk and fought, but she says she doesn't owe any money because the injuries she caused were in self-defense.
All rise. Court is in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding. Please be seated. Your Honor, the litigants have been sworn in. This is the case of Robertson versus Thompson.
Thank you, Juan. Aisha Robertson,
Yes.
you are suing the defendant Laura Thompson for $2,483 for medical bills and pain and suffering. You say expenses you are out of as a result of an assault she committed against you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let's start from the very beginning. Tell me what happened and how you know Ms. Thompson.
Me and Ms. Thompson have known each other for 6 years now. We met at adult nightclub, smoking a cigarette, and which she was venting about something. And after that, we kind of just hit it off.
Well, were the two of you working at the adult nightclub?
Yes.
Okay.
We became really good friends for 6 years. Up until 2 years ago, she needed a place to live that was cheaper for her, more accommodating. And I talked to my manager, and I went with her to the landlord and helped her get the apartment that she's in now.
Okay, and so, Ms. Thompson, how would you describe your relationship prior to this incident that we're going to talk about today? How would you describe your relationship with Ms. Robertson?
Well, we were really good friends. I basically took care of her for 6 years, so.
What do you mean by that?
Helped her make money, helped her with her apartment, yes. And
How'd you help her make money?
I paid $3,500 to move into that apartment, so.
How did you help her make money?
At the club, because it's easier for me to make money.
What do you do at the club?
Same thing as she does. I'm an entertainer.
Which is what? Adult entertaining,
yes.
okay.
Yeah,
And how were you
dancer.
helping her make money?
Because I would take her with me and lie to customers and say that she was part Asian, and and they would go, because they liked me, they would take her with them, with us.
Why would you have to tell people she was part Asian? Why is that significant?
Because the guys that like me usually only like Asians.
So how did we get to this point today while you're in court? What happened?
One evening.
What date?
This was June 17th,
Of what year?
2014.
Okay, so that was almost a year ago.
Almost a year ago, yes. We were drinking probably around, it was early, it was like around 1, 2 o'clock we were drinking.
What were you drinking?
We were drinking a bottle of vodka.
Where were you at that time?
We were at my apartment. She had a mutual friend come over. We were drinking, having a good time.
Approximately what time does this incident take place?
6?
6 p.m. So you started drinking at 1 o'clock that day.
Yes.
5 hours later, 6 p.m., how many drinks would you say you had?
Well, between the three of us, we basically finished the bottle.
Finished what?
It was a gallon bottle.
You said the three of you shared a bottle of vodka. Who
Yeah.
else was there?
We had a mutual, she had a friend over.
What's his name?
Actually don't remember his name.
What's the friend's name?
Mike.
Mike. So you are there, you, and Mike is there. You've been drinking since 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yes,
Approximately how many drinks had you had by 6 p.m.?
Me?
Yes.
I don't know how many drinks we've had, to be honest.
You don't remember?
I don't remember how many drinks
2 bottles.
And how, 2 bottles of vodka?
Because we finished one before he came.
Okay, and did Mike bring vodka with him?
He brought the
So he
gallon.
brought more vodka.
Yes.
And approximately how many drinks had you had at that point?
Your Honor, I don't know.
What kind of condition were you in? Were you?
was drunk.
You were drunk.
I was
Were
drunk.
you very drunk?
I wasn't very drunk.
Really?
No.
You say in your papers you were very drunk.
Do I? Well,
So-
I was drunk, but I wasn't very drunk because, I mean, what
But you
happened
don't
to me?
remember.
What happened to me
Blacked out.
sobered me up real quick.
Coming up, more drunk drama.
Something was said that made Ms. Thompson upset.
What was said?
That I don't remember.
You don't remember that either.
And later, he had a pay if he could policy.
I said I would try to help you pay.
Right. And from that day to this day, that trying really hasn't worked out.
Yeah, when she.
Plaintiff Aisha Robertson says her former friend offered to pay for the injuries she caused during their fight. She's suing for pain and suffering and medical bills. Defendant Laura Thompson says she doesn't owe anything because the injuries were caused in self-defense.
How many drinks did you have that day?
A lot. We finished one bottle, and he brought a gallon bottle, and we finished that too.
Okay.
And we both can drink, so yes, she had blacked out because I asked her about it the next day. She does not.
And
remember.
why was Mike coming over? Just to hang out with the two of you?
To hang out, yeah.
And this was at your house?
Yes, ma'am.
Correct? Okay. So around 6 p.m., what do you say happened?
We were drinking in my living room. Something was said that made Ms. Thompson upset.
What was said?
That I don't remember. Something was said just because anytime Ms. Thompson drinks, she's had many altercations with everyone in our building. She's either argued with or she's beat up plenty of her girlfriends, boyfriends before in the past. I have seen that's happened in front of my house as a barbecue. She's beat up her girlfriend, not once, but twice. We vowed that we'd never put hands on each other. You know, that's what kept us going for so long too, because we would say we'd never cross that line, and that line was crossed.
So prior to this date, you never had any type of physical altercation with her. Is that true?
That's true.
Okay, so 6 p.m. this day, Mike is over. She says something to who?
He was there for lap dances.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And what happened?
I don't know, something was said that ticked Ms. Thompson off, that just made her...
Who said something to her?
I don't know what was said, Your Honor. Something was said probably that just, you know, she was drinking, and every time she drinks, like she's not...
Did you say something or did Mike say something?
I don't remember.
You don't know who said it, you don't know what was said, but her reaction is what, according to you?
Jealousy.
Okay,
Like
what did
her.
she say? What
That I
did she
don't
do?
remember.
You don't remember that either?
No, I don't remember what was said or who said it.
And you say she reacted in a jealous manner, and,
Yes.
and what happened?
Because something was said, we started arguing, going back and forth.
What was she saying to you? What were you saying to her?
Just arguing, like probably just...
You don't remember that either?
No. Don't, to be
What
honest.
happened next?
I ended up leaving the apartment, going outside to my patio, and the neighbor was washing her dishes right next door to me. And I was like, oh my gosh, can you get this girl away from me? And then here she comes and starts charging me, and then we start fighting on our balcony. She grabs my hair. I try to defend myself. I think I did hit her.
Yeah, you stuck your finger in my eye.
What do you say happened? What do you say happened? What's your version of this?
I don't remember, just like she doesn't remember. Later, she was crying, so I was like, whatever I did, I'm sorry, you know, because she was crying, so I'm like, let's go to the hospital.
Were you injured?
Well, yeah, she had stuck her finger in my eye, and it was blackening up here.
And how were you injured?
I
I'm
bit her
injured-
finger when
well,
she stuck it in my eye.
You bit her finger.
She bit my finger. We're all on the floor. I have like abrasions. I have scars to show you.
Did you call the police?
No, ma'am, I did not call the police.
6 months later.
So you didn't call the police?
No, because I was honestly hurt, and I couldn't believe what had happened. I was crying hysterically. The neighbors were over.
Did you go to the hospital?
We were both crying, yes.
You were treated. What were your injuries?
I had a cut on top and
Let me
back
see the
of my
photo
finger.
of your injuries. What is this a photo of?
It's a scar that's right there in the middle of my index finger.
You want to walk over and show me where the scar is?
Right here.
Okay, I do see there is something there.
And there's another photo, Your Honor, on the back side of my hand that also has a scar, and that's keloid. Right there.
Okay, did you submit any other photos of injuries?
I did, of my
Let's see the
hair
next
that was
photo.
pulled out.
So what are you saying? She pulled some of your hair out?
Yes, ma'am.
The fight starts, how does it end? You say your neighbor came over?
Yes, they were trying to help, trying to get her off my head. But then she bit me, my finger started bleeding, I started freaking out, and they saw the blood, and then eventually she probably came to, like, she's bleeding, and then it stopped. And then I went inside, I'm bleeding everywhere, blood everywhere, the neighbor's helping me. She's outside at the other neighbor's house, and she comes back and is like, I'm sorry, let me in, we're just crying.
I know you say you don't remember, but you remember her sticking
Yes. Her cat claw in my
finger
eye.
in your eye? And
That's why I bit it, yeah.
so you do remember biting her finger?
Well, I mean, it was bit, and her finger was right here, so yeah, she said, yeah.
You don't know how this all started. She's saying in her answer, self-defense, and you're saying today you don't remember. In your claim, you wrote, you don't know exactly what happened because you were all very drunk. I can't help you. You were drunk.
Okay.
You don't remember what happened. You didn't file a police report for 6 months, and then you didn't file this lawsuit. You're here almost a year later. But the number one thing is I can't trust your version. I don't trust her version either. I can't
Honestly,
believe
I
what
don't
either one of you are
remember.
saying
I don't remember.
because this happened after you had 2 bottles of vodka.
I do remember.
Judgment in this
happened,
case
just
for
not
the defendant.
what happened.
Plaintiff Tia Bailey says her former roommate agreed to pay the utility bills while she was away at boot camp, but didn't. She's suing for unpaid utility bills. Defendant Malcolm Johnson says the bill was in Tia's name and he never agreed to pay it.
Tia Bailey,
Yes, ma'am.
you are suing the defendant Malcolm Johnson for $406 for the cost of a utility bill you say he failed to pay.
Yes, ma'am.
In addition, you're also suing for your court costs.
Yes, ma'am, that's correct.
Okay, so why don't we start from the very beginning? Where are the 2 of you from?
Powder Springs, Georgia, just half an hour from Atlanta.
So at one point, you and Mr. Johnson became roommates. Why don't you tell me how the 2 of you met and what happened?
Okay. We met in high school a few years before moving in together. We had a couple friends in common. I didn't really know him too well, but he seemed like an okay guy. Like he seemed cool, so I just kind of went with it.
So when did you move in, month and year?
Officially, like December of 2014.
Okay, and what was the discussion? Whose idea was it?
It was Malcolm's. He had this house that he, wanted some roommates to help rent him out with. It was the house he grew up on. He grew up.
I used to grow up on.
Yeah, he used to live in there.
Okay, so you
And-
used to live in this house?
Yes.
Is this your, so this
my
is your
mother's.
family home?
Yes.
Okay,
My
and-
mom owns the house.
She owns the house?
Yes.
Okay, and so had you been living there already?
We moved, I want to say, my sophomore year in high school, and after we moved a little bit, 5-10 minutes down the road. She had some bad clients before.
Your
and
mother?
Yes, my mom. And then after that, she decided, you know what, let's try. I know you want to move out, so here's a house that's open up.
So you decide to rent your mother's house. It was her idea. So you're going
Yes.
to rent it and you're going to get, how many bedrooms is it? 3 bedrooms, I think you said?
It's 4.
4 bedrooms, but you're going to get 2
Originally it's 3,
roommates.
yes.
Okay, and all 3 of you are going to split the rent and
Yes.
pay how much in rent apiece?
$350 for me since I had the big room,
Mm-hmm.
and $300 for everybody else.
Okay, but you approach her about moving into the house and she says okay.
I put it on Facebook.
Oh, okay.
I put it on Facebook, and she saw my status, and she was interested.
So the 2 of you had a discussion and you move in December of 2014, and do you sign a lease?
Yes,
Okay, who signs the lease? 3 of you or just 2?
3.
So what happens? You end up moving out for a while.
Yeah, before I even moved in, I told Malcolm that I was considering joining the military, so I went ahead and did that a few months after moving into the house. I ended up swearing in of March 2014, and I ended up leaving for boot camp of April.
Okay, what branch of the military?
I'm in the Navy
Okay,
Reserves.
Nice.
I left April 8th, 2014, and I ended up staying out of the state of Georgia for several months. I actually didn't return until late November. So I was gone for well over, half a year.
Okay, and what was the agreement while you were gone? Were you still paying rent, and who would pay the utilities, which is why you're here today?
Okay, so the agreement before I left was that I would still continue to pay rent while I was gone, because when I came back, I wanted to live there an additional year so that way I could start school and I wouldn't have to worry about finding a place to stay. While I was gone, I was still gonna continue to pay rent, but the utilities were not gonna fall under me because I wasn't there to, I'm not there to use the water, to use the electricity, so it's not fair for me to pay these things.
So who was going to pay all the utilities while you were gone?
It was my understanding that Malcolm would pay it.
Coming up on Judge Faith, the friends learn a life lesson.
I did give him notice. Like, we did have a discussion before I left. My credit was dropping, so that makes me look irresponsible.
Usually when she talks to me, she's always in a hurry or she's always trying to leave.
So my question to you is, why aren't you paying your half of the bill at least?
Plaintiff Tia Bailey says her former roommate agreed to pay the utility bills but didn't. She's suing for unpaid utility bills. Defendant Malcolm Johnson says he never agreed to pay.
So you leave in April
Yes, ma'am?
to go to boot camp. Where was your boot camp?
It was in Great Lakes, Illinois.
Okay, so you go to Illinois for boot camp, and you guys have been splitting the utilities up until this point?
Yes, ma'am.
Just paying half and half?
Yes.
And how much was the gas bill on average? What was the gas bill the month prior to that?
I'm not sure.
You don't have any copies of the gas bill with you?
Yeah, I have the last gas bill. The last gas bill.
Okay, how much was the last gas bill?
The
What month is
last
that
gas
from?
bill, $405.
That's for 1 month? Gas for 1 month?
Yeah, when we got the gas bill, we usually get it every 2 months.
Okay.
So
that's 2 months worth of gas in one bill?
This is the last bill. It was 4 months.
Okay, so if approximately over 4 months, it was approximately $100.
Yes.
Did you know that she would be leaving for, how many months were you gone?
Approximately 8 months.
8. Did you know she was going to be leaving for 8 months when you agreed for her to move in and sign this lease?
Yes, but I don't know how long she was going to be.
You didn't know how long she was going to be gone, and
Yes.
was there a discussion about what would happen with the bills, not the rent? Was there a discussion about what would happen with the bills when she left to go to boot camp?
She talked to me. Usually when she talks to me, she's always in a hurry or she's always trying to leave. We hardly talk anytime. Anytime we're in the house, our schedule was always different.
Was there a discussion at any point before?
Yes, there was a discussion.
Okay, what was the discussion?
She asked me if I could, if she could only pay the rent.
While she was gone?
When she was gone. Since she said, since she's going to be gone and she's not going to be using any of the utilities, she was asking me if she can just pay the $300.
Okay, prior to that, prior to her moving in, when you found out she might be leaving to go to boot camp, was there a discussion about what would happen with the utilities if she left, or you just didn't think about it at that time?
I didn't really think about it at that time.
Okay. My concern is, and I know you say you left and he didn't pay this bill while you were gone. My concern is, if you two enter into this agreement, this lease, and you're going to be there for a year, and then you're gone for 8 months, how do you expect someone to foot all the bills in the house without really giving them notice that that's going to happen?
It's not really fair, but I did give him notice. Like, we did have a discussion before I left of...
Right, but then he doesn't have a choice, right? Because you're already in the house, you're living there, and you're saying, hey, I'm not going to be here. Would you mind paying this gas bill every month? And he may have said, what was your answer to that?
I pretty much said yes.
Okay, but did you pay the bill?
No.
Why aren't you paying your half of the bill at least?
I didn't pay my half because I didn't know how much it was.
But you had the bill.
I didn't know. No, I did not have the bill.
Okay, but the bill is coming to your house.
Yes.
You just didn't open it?
I got a notification on the door saying it was about to be cut off.
Coming up, Judge Faith rules. And now, Judge Faith rules.
So what's going on? This bill went into collections. What's happening? Have you paid it?
I paid it, yes. As soon as I came back, I talked to Malcolm about it. He said, don't worry about it. I got it. I waited a couple more weeks, talked to him again. Nothing changed. So I went ahead and I paid the bill in full because my credit was dropping. So that makes me look irresponsible. I don't like that. So
I didn't say, don't worry about it. I got it. I said I would try to help you pay off on it.
Yes.
Right.
And from that day to this day, that trying really hasn't worked out for her.
When around the time that she pretty much left, I did get laid off. When I got the last bill, the notification, I let her know. I told her the agreement was, you leave, I'll handle it. But when I need some money, send it this way.
Okay, and the problem is you didn't handle it at all, right? All right, so I think we're done here. In all fairness, you have to pay your portion of the bill, which is half. So I'm going to order you to pay half of the utility bill, $203, in addition to your court costs. Okay, judgment for the plaintiff. Good luck.
Today on Judge Faith. These two ex-lovers met in church.
He's like, why don't we just go up to Vegas?
But when money changes hands and the relationship ends,
So about how many women have you dated in the church?
what will the minister say?
Under oath. Minister.
I was waiting for the answer to my question.
They need to be worried about trying to save us instead of trying to date us.
Were you dating other women in the church?
Not while I was dating her, no.
That's not true. He was dating me and the young lady at the same time from the Bible study that I was hosting that he was at.
Well, what's wrong with meeting people at church?
But come on, you're a minister. You're not supposed to be dating every single woman in the church and giving them the eye.
That's not true, Your Honor.
Your Honor, he is a holy hustler. He's like, why don't we just go up to Vegas? He told the other girl that he wanted to go up to Vegas.
I remind you that you're a minister, sir, and you're in a court of law, so that's a double whammy for you.
Faith Jenkins. Her distinguished legal career began when she graduated first in her law school class. She quickly became a tough New York City prosecutor and then a preeminent legal analyst on cable news. And now she's the judge in her own courtroom. Her cases are real and her rulings are final. She is Judge Faith. Plaintiff Donald Revels says he loaned money to the defendant for a new apartment. He's suing for the unpaid loan. Defendant Sherelle Clausel says the plaintiff wanted to be more than just friends, and the loan was a gift. She's countersuing for emotional stress.
Remain seated and come to order. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding. Your Honor, this case is Revels versus Clausel.
Thank you, Barbara. Donald Revels,
Yes, Your Honor.
you were suing the defendant Sherelle Clausel
Yes, Your Honor.
for $1,775 for an unpaid loan.
That's correct, Your Honor.
And you are countersuing, ma'am, for emotional stress and harassment in the amount of $2,000?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. We'll start with you, Mr. Revels. Tell me how you know Ms. Clausel and what this case is about.
In approximately January of 2012, Your Honor, I met the defendant at a church fellowship. I asked her out. We began to date and see each other almost daily.
Okay, so you knew her from seeing her at church?
Yes, occasionally.
Okay. And what do you do at the church?
I'm a minister.
You're a minister?
Yes.
Okay. Were you in the Bible study?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
I was the host of the Bible study, Your Honor. I was the host of the Bible study.
Well, how did you ask her out? I'm just curious.
Well, based on the dynamics that were taking place at the time, we communicated verbally during certain sessions, during the church session. And so I just decided, I just decided she was an attractive woman. I asked if she would like to go out.
Okay.
So in January, approximately July of 2013, the relationship turned sort of contentious. So I thought I would call it off. I would break it off.
Well, how long did the two of you date? I'm sorry. God help me. How long did the two of you date, sir?
On and off, totally, probably 2 years, give or take.
Okay. And what do you have to say about this man?
That is a lie, Your Honor.
Okay.
First of all, yes, he is a minister. He is a holy hustler. I'm just letting you know that right now.
That's not true, Your Honor.
Yes,
That's not true, Your Honor.
Well, I'm gonna just say
sir.
this. He approached me in the church. I had no interest in him, and he actually approached me in the church, had no idea. I'm thinking this guy may be married or something. I've been at the church for over 10 years, and me being a Christian woman, come to find out he's dated more than one woman at this church. He's been married
Not
over
true,
twice,
Your Honor.
Your Honor.
Stop.
Twice. He's been married over 2 times. Not only has he been married over 2 times, he had a potential marriage that he was going to have with someone he dated on and off at the church for over 4 years.
Well, what's
So
wrong with meeting people at church?
Well, come on, you're a minister. You're not supposed to be dating every single woman in the church and giving them the eye.
That's not true, Your Honor.
Your Honor, that's the problem. That's the problem that they have nowadays in these churches. They need to be worried about trying
She's
to
preventing
save
me-
us instead of trying to date us.
She's trying to... She's trying to save her bank account and keep from paying me what she's trying to keep from doing.
Bank account. It's
Okay,
not
so,
even that much money.
ma'am, stop.
Ooh, my
Stop.
Lord.
Your Honor, in approximately July of 2013, these are approximate dates, the relationship turned sort of contentious, so
So the two of you weren't getting along?
like to raise a voice at me, as you can see.
Well, were you dating other women in the church?
Not while I was dating her, no.
Okay.
So, as I was about to say,
That's not true, Your Honor.
we still communicated. We were still amicable with each other. She would call me once or twice a week to borrow my drill, borrow my tent, sometimes my truck, and occasionally I would go by her house to fax certain materials, to use her fax machine.
Your Honor, can I speak?
Stop.
So,
no. I will give you an opportunity to respond,
Okay.
So,
but you got to calm down.
So-
All right. So wait. Hold on a second. Go back. Would you still see her in church?
yes, I would see her occasionally.
And that wasn't awkward for you?
No, because we were no longer continuing on with the relationship. Because we weren't, I began to see someone else. Well, she took it upon herself to call this lady and tell her that I was seeing her, and that wasn't the case. That
Someone
wasn't
else at
true.
the church?
Someone else in the church. after I was seeing her. Well, and she told her that I was still seeing her at the same time, and that wasn't the case. Well, this other person became angry and severed their relationship.
Coming up,
So about how many women have you dated in the church?
plaintiff Donald Revel says he loaned one of the church members money that hasn't been paid back. Defendant Sherelle Clausel says the loan was a gift, and the plaintiff is only suing because she turned down a relationship with him.
So about how many women have you dated in the church? I'm just curious.
Several.
2, maybe 3.
I remind you that you're a minister, sir.
Honesty.
So,
And you're in a court of law. So that's a
Correct.
double whammy for you.
right.
Under oath.
So approximately January of 2013.
No, I was waiting for the answer to my question.
I'm sorry.
Approximately how many?
About 2, maybe 3.
Okay. All right,
Okay.
go ahead.
So in approximately January of 2014, I had tickets to a concert, and I asked her if she wanted to go with me. Again, she was communicating with me, calling me once or twice a week. She wanted to borrow my truck, wanted to borrow my drill or whatever, and we were about 2 minutes driving time. So the other lady severed the relationship because of what she had did. And so I asked her if she wanted to go to the concert with me. And so we went to the concert. As time progressed, in April of 2014, she wanted to move from her grandmother's house into her own place. She asked me if another friend of hers wouldn't loan her money or didn't loan her the money or whatever, would I be able to loan it to her? And I said, well, get with that person first and see if they can do it, if you see how much you can get from them, and then maybe I can loan you the balance.
And you say this was a loan, not a gift.
That was a loan.
While he was
Okay.
dating me.
And she said.
So the two of you were not dating at that time, sir?
No.
At the time you gave her, you say
No.
you loaned her the money, the two of you were not dating?
Under oath.
No.
Under oath.
And
Minister.
So you loaned her this money for an apartment.
That's correct. Okay.
All right, let me hear from her. You look like you're about to blow
I'm about
over
to
there.
blow, like seriously.
What's
but
going
the
on?
thing is, I don't have a temper, first of all. I am actually very
Negative.
confident.
Not
Okay,
true.
you gotta, listen, same rule applies to you that applied to her, okay? All right.
I do not blow, Your Honor. I actually am over the church. Forgive me. He got me riled up.
Well, you wrote a bunch of notes. Go.
Yeah,
look
I
at your
wrote a
notes.
bunch of notes. But however, not only did I host for him, the pastor would not have me hosting over 100 people at the church, coming in of all ethnicities, Your Honor. Everyone coming in at this church, and they're trusting me to be over these people. And I have their names, their addresses, their phone, their personal information that they've given to the church, and I'm checking them in. I'm making sure that the attendance is proper. I'm calling them to check on them if they haven't shown up, things like that. If a person with a temper, the church would not have them over something like that.
How large is this church? How many members?
I've been there for only 10 years. He's been there longer. He should know he's a minister there.
How many members does the church have?
On roll is approximately 3,000. It's a minimum-sized church, a medium-sized church, I'm sorry.
Okay.
In regards to him saying that he did not date me, first of all, I'm going to go back to that situation. He said that he wasn't dating me in the time of July of 2013. He was dating me and the young lady at the same time from the Bible study that I was hosting that he was at. And not only that, when he decided, something was
How do you
getting
know that?
Because she told me everything. Once we put our dates together, she and I put our dates together with everything. After December, up in January, she and I have a conversation, not during the time when he was talking to her, because I just let it go with the situation because he was actually over for my son. He was actually supposed to be a mentor. He's kind of stalkerish. He shows up at my door constantly when I was living at my grandma's. I tell him, don't show up without calling me. He'll call in front of the house. Yeah, he'll call in front of the house and say, I'm here. He said, okay, I'm going to give this to you. I'm going to help you out, and then you come up with the other half of it. Because he said, I want to build a relationship with you. But I said, we can't go that far because you tried to date me and the other girl at the same time, and now you're coming back to me because you feel like it didn't work out with her. I said, now, because he was showering me with gifts for my affection. That's basically what he was doing. He was showering me gifts for my affection, and it didn't work out because.
Well, did you agree? Did you agree to pay this money back to him?
Your Honor, no.
How much did he give you total?
It was the $1,700 that he was saying. The first part that when he gave it to me, and then I couldn't come up with the other part of it.
He gave you the rest.
No, he called me. I didn't even ask for it. He called me and said, go to the MoneyGram. I wired you some money. He just called me and told me. I didn't ask for it, Your Honor.
So you never agreed to pay him back?
No, it wasn't oh, you're going to. And then he told me one day, he put his arms around me. He said, well, we're going to work something out. I want to marry you. And I was like, but the thing is that he's like, why don't we just go up to Vegas? Let's go get it done. He told the other girl that he wanted to go up to Vegas from the church.
Okay.
He wanted to go to Vegas with everybody.
Did you tell her? So what you're saying is you could have been the first lady of the church. Are you the head minister?
Oh,
No, I was associate.
Associate pastor?
He's gone
okay.
now.
I have a text message here where she responded to the fact that we were going to meet and talk about a payment option. I did not give her $1,800. I did not shower her with anything. I helped her when she needed help. I asked for me to help her, which was quite frequently.
Coming up, swimsuits and sex come up in court.
He took me to the beach constantly. Who wouldn't want to take me to the beach if I'm wearing a bikini and you're a minister and you're not going to sleep with me? I'm just being honest. That's the only way he can get some kind of look.
Plaintiff Donald Revel says he loaned his church member money and hasn't been paid back. Defendant Cheryl Clausel says she's been put through emotional stress and harassment since turning down the plaintiff's advances.
Look, just give me half of it back because we're going to work out something together. That's exactly what he told me. Those were his words. He said, we'll work out something together. Just when you get a chance to, just give it back to me. I know you just started working. You got your kids and everything.
So you agreed to pay him back?
I didn't say anything. I did not say yes. I did not say no. But in regards to the text messages, I said, look, I'll try to do what I can.
Your testimony is kind of changing now because prior to these text messages, you can put your hand down, Pastor, please. Prior to these text messages, you said clearly he was showering you with gifts, and now you're telling me that there was a discussion about you paying him back.
That's when I told him the relationship wasn't going to work.
I wasn't showering her with anything.
Whatever the situation is, I cannot do this anymore. You're making me very uncomfortable. You're constantly showing up at my door unannounced after I've asked you
This was
repeatedly.
before or after he gave you the money?
After.
Okay, so why didn't you just pay him back at that point if you think he's stalking you?
Well, at that time, I did not pay him back because he didn't say, I want you to pay me back. When he found out that we weren't going to have a relationship, that's when he said, I want you to pay me back.
From this message, it appears that you're agreeing to work out a payment plan with him to pay him this money back.
When I said okay to him, it's because he said, pay me back only half of it. He said, because I gave you the rest, and I have proof right here. When he first filed it, it says right here, gave, Your Honor.
May I see that?
It says gave.
What is that? What is this?
That's the half of it that he gave and the other half that he wired that I told him I would try to pay him back on it. And yes, he showered me with gifts. Yes, he took me places. He took me to 2 concerts. He took me to the beach constantly. Who wouldn't want to take me to the beach if I'm wearing a bikini and you're a minister and you're not going to sleep with me? I'm just being honest. That's the only way he can get some kind of look.
What you're seeing is
it's the original.
correct.
I know this is the original claim that you filed in court.
And this is the amended where that was an error I amended that I loaned her.
An error that you gave?
Well, it says gave/loaned. Oftentimes, when people date and they're involved in relationships, one party gives money to the other. And when things don't work out, things are not going well, oftentimes I get people in here where, Your Honor, I bought her dinner and I bought her shoes and this money that I gave her, and everything was a loan. She owes me for everything, every dime I've ever spent on her. And I have to sort these things out. I think this text message just shows at some point you do ask for this money back. The question in my mind is, was that the agreement when you gave it to her, or did this only come up later down the road? 4 months later, you're asking her about a payment plan for the money. 4 months later.
No, it's not that I'm just asking her verbally. I've been communicating.
This is your evidence that you just provided to me. 4 months later, you said, when was she expected to pay you this money back? 4 months later, this is the first text message I see where you're talking to her about a payment plan.
No.
Is it because the relationship didn't work out?
No, not at all. I broke the relationship off with her.
You say you're a lady from the church. So I'm going to ask you again, if prior to him giving you this money, you had a discussion with him about paying him back. Was that the understanding when you received this money that you were supposed to pay him back?
The understanding on the initial first 800 and something, he said if you could get the money from the guy, he said, yeah, you can pay me back. But he said this down the line when we were sitting there talking. He was like, oh, only pay me half of it back.
Did you ever say to her, don't worry about paying back any of the money?
Not at all. Not at all. As a matter of fact, Your Honor, we were emphatic on each wire, me submitting that money to her.
I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced that this wasn't because I hear everything you're saying, but when you come into court, it's about proof, and you have the burden of proof.
But no, prior to then, I was calling her and communicating with her by way of telephone.
I need evidence. I need evidence. I'm not convinced.
Very upset with me for not showing up to his new church also, Your Honor. I mean, you got upset with me.
That's all lies.
You said, why don't you have time?
I'm done talking.
And now, Judge Faith rules.
What's your counterclaim about?
Because he was showing up at my house, I'm losing sleep. I actually couldn't go places, couldn't do things. My whole life was like, at that point, you know what? If someone's doing that, if you think they're stalking you and someone is doing that, then you know what you do. You just give them back the money. It's not worth keeping money. It wasn't about the
money.
Even
though you think it's a gift, at that point, you just pay the money back to get them out of your hair and move on with your life. What bothers me is I don't have a text message after you give her this money, and there was some discussion clearly about her eventually paying you back half, and then she says later down the road, you say don't worry about it. My issue is if you say this was really a loan and she was supposed to be paying you back, the evidence you submit to me is 4 months down the road, a text message talking to her about nailing down specifics of the payment plan, only because she admits that at some point she agreed to pay you back half, sir, and you have a text message where you talk to her about a payment plan. That's the only reason why I'm ordering her to pay you back half of the money. I'm not convinced that this was a loan from the very beginning. Your counterclaim for harassment is dismissed. Judgment in this case for the plaintiff, $887.50.
Yes, Your Honor.
Today on Judge Faith, how did these friends become enemies?
We say, Femi, we know you're sneaking this guy inside the house because all of a sudden the house is becoming a mess. And Femi is normally a very clean person, but because she's starting to leave a house a mess, this is what's becoming the issue.
I just thought it was funny and obviously it upset her, and that's what I wanted it to do.
I'm going to tell both of you something from what I've observed here today. Neither one of you are being completely truthful with me.
Faith Jenkins. Her distinguished legal career began when she graduated first in her law school class. She quickly became a tough New York City prosecutor and then a preeminent legal analyst on cable news. And now she's the judge in her own courtroom. Her cases are real and her rulings are final. She is Judge Faith. Plaintiffs Michelle Danton and Roselda Newfill say their roommate was a troublemaker and refused to pay her share of the rent. They're suing for unpaid rent, property damage, and harassment. Defendant Mia Chipola says Michelle and Roselda teamed up against her and overcharged her for rent. She's countersuing for rent overpayment. She's accompanied in court today by Felicia Chipola.
All rise. Court is in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding. Please be seated. Your Honor, the litigants have been sworn in. This is the case of Newfill and Danton versus Chipola.
Thank you, Juan. Roselda Newfill?
Yes.
You and your co-plaintiff, Michelle Danton?
Yes.
Are suing the defendant, Mia Chipola, for $5,585 for unpaid rent, property damage, and harassment.
Yes.
And you are countersuing, ma'am, for $1,809 for rent overpayment. Okay, so we'll start with you. Tell me what's going on here.
Mia is my cousin. We call her Femi. She moved in. She came out of a situation. She used to be a stripper. She had a sponsor that she lived with to try to get her out of the stripper lifestyle.
Did she tell you this?
Yes.
All right. You're leasing an apartment already?
Yes.
The two of you together?
Yes.
Okay, and she comes to you
I'm
and...
originally on the lease, but my girlfriend lives with me.
Okay, and so what happens?
Basically, she moves in, and the original agreement...
What month and year?
May 2012. Sorry, May 2014. All right, so she moves in. It was originally agreed that we would split the rent halfway and that she was to stay in for 6 months.
Did you have a written agreement? I
do have the lease.
Did the two of you have a written agreement?
No, it was a verbal agreement.
Okay, and how much were you paying in rent?
$1,245.
And so the agreement was she would move in May of 2014,
yes,
stay for 6 months, and the two of you would split the rent 50-50?
The reason why
Were you living there at the time?
I was living there at the time.
What was the agreement when you moved in? What was the conversation the two of you had?
Michelle was staying there. She was deciding if she was going to permanently stay there.
No. Excuse me, Your Honor.
Yes, and Roselda and I had an agreement to where she was going to move in permanently, that it was going to be split 3 ways.
Okay, so when you moved in, though, you agreed to pay half of the rent, which was what?
It was about $600 plus utilities, so about $625.
And is it true what she said, that you were trying to get away from this guy who was sponsoring you?
No, that's
from the stripper lifestyle?
Not true. I've never used to be a stripper, and that's the type of stuff that I'm talking about, that people like my family trying to say these mean and hurtful words to me, calling me a stripper. Like, that's just out of pocket, and nobody should treat somebody like that, especially not their family.
She's living there, she's paying half the rent, but according to your complaint and your answer, you tell her she can't have company.
No.
What was that about? What happened with the guy that she wanted to have over?
Before she had, when she had a boyfriend, she still had her sponsor giving her gifts. And
what does that have to do with her having company at the apartment?
I'm gonna get into that. So what happened was, we had a cousin named. She told us that she didn't want to come at the house, and so because she does pay rent, we told her that, you know, it's not right that you're telling us that we can't have our own family inside the house. But still, we respected it.
You said in your complaint to the court something completely different. You said you didn't know this guy, and I have the text messages that the two of you submitted. She's telling you that she meets this guy, she's dating this guy, because I just want to get an understanding.
Oh yeah,
he's an amazing guy.
And you say,
he was a great
excuse
guy.
me? He was an amazing guy.
He was good, because I actually talked to him
so
during the
why are you
activation.
telling her in a text message, don't bring him over to the house? You guys should go on a date at the lake or something.
Yeah, because
but don't come to the house.
No, because it was an issue. So
why does she have to go on a date at the lake, and the two of you are dating?
Because we actually worked a 16.
Just explain that to me.
So,
explain why
no,
someone who moves in and is paying half the rent, why you get to regulate their company and who they're dating and when they can have a date over to the house.
Because every time she brings somebody over, it's always an issue. So going back to her sister.
What was it? No.
Okay.
What was the issue with this guy? What did he do?
So we actually worked a 16-hour plus shift.
What did he do?
And he pretty much, we're like, hey, look.
You just said he was a great guy. What did he do wrong?
He didn't do anything wrong, but because of
so what's the reason why he couldn't be over at the house to visit her?
I understand. It's because anytime Femi brings somebody over.
No, I don't want to talk about any time. I'm talking about this particular guy. Who
because every time that she brought him over, she wouldn't clean up her dishes. She would leave things out.
All right, I've heard enough. You're not giving me. You can't. You can't have somebody move in and pay half the rent and then dictate
because the
where
reason
they can
why
have their
was
date.
because we were on mutual respect. She told us that our family member was not allowed in the house.
Let's move on to the next issue, because you're not making any sense about that.
Coming up, tensions in the house heat up.
Femi started writing, drawing death threats to us.
Did you do that?
I wouldn't call it a death threat. I would call it art.
Really?
Plaintiffs Michelle Danthin and Roselda Newfill say living with Mia was a total nightmare. They're suing for unpaid rent, property damage, and harassment. Defendant Mia Chipola says Michelle and Roselda are controlling bullies. She's countersuing for rent overpayment.
What's the harassment about?
So the harassment was that Femi, afterwards, Femi started writing, drawing death threats to us. Femi has also.
Did you do that?
I wouldn't call it a death
me?
threat. I would call it art, but it wasn't directed towards them.
Where's this whiteboard? Where's this whiteboard?
Whiteboard
Right
is
beside
located
Amy.
behind her door. Is
Her
right
door
here,
in between the bathroom.
and our.
Okay, why don't you walk over and explain to me what this is?
Oh yes, I will definitely go ahead and do
Did
that.
you draw this?
Yes, she drew
Did
this
you draw
part.
this?
Anyway, so with this
Your
picture,
Honor.
we actually have our own businesses that we're starting, and Roselda actually drew circles of where we're going to start at, and of course where we're going to finish. So we actually had a plan. You can see we start here, and this is going to be our goal. We're also going to put other things in there like what we need to do for our business and so forth. So with Femi, I asked her, I said, hey, again, this is why we didn't want family to move in the first place. We said, Femi, or actually I said, Femi, can you please clean up behind yourself?
Can you explain to me what's on the board?
So we have different pictures, and see, this isn't funny, but she's taking.
No, I'm asking you to explain to me what's on the
I'm
board.
sorry. I'm just trying to let her know why we don't.
Why are you laughing? Why do you think this is funny?
Because this is beautiful art, and I don't know.
Beautiful art.
I mean, I know art is in the eye, beauty's in the eye of the beholder.
Right.
But why
I
is
mean,
that beautiful to you? Who are those two people supposed to be?
They're actually supposed to be like people and roses. Like them hanging from the tree kind of like represents like how love hangs from the tree.
Love.
And
Love.
that they're people
Really?
because people
Love.
are
Really?
trapped and hanging.
Okay,
on the
just
tree.
stop. Tell me what this is.
So
just stop.
So since these, I'm gonna.
When was this art created?
This art was created after she, and that's the thing because we told
Can you
her.
answer a single
I'm sorry.
question I ask you?
Because it's so,
when was this created?
This was created. Yeah, this was actually created in the last month that she was living here.
Okay, and what is this supposed to be?
So
what do
this
you
is-
think it's supposed to mean?
I know it's me because before this hairstyle, I had an afro. So if you can see the afro in every single picture, Roselda, as you can clearly see with her hair now, has her hair down. And this is actually the second time she's done this.
So what's that? A shooting, a car accident,
this
and a
is us
hanging?
getting shot, blood. This is us getting hit by a car. I don't know what that is, but it's still death because you see the X's, and of course us hanging by a tree.
Okay, you can go back to your to the lectern, please. And why would you draw that in a place where they could obviously see it? What was your message you were trying to send there? You're gonna still stick with the story about love and roses?
I just thought it was funny, and obviously it upset her, and that's what I wanted it to do. So.
When we basically typed up the a written agreement from the verbal agreement that from Femi's 30-day tenancy, we gave it to her. She ripped it in front of our bathroom while we were taking a shower and started yelling that we need to die slowly. She started calling us.
Let me ask you something, because clearly the two you guys aren't getting along. Why do you say you kept getting her jobs, these gigs that you all were working together
The last
on?
gig that we got was when she met this boy, and like I said, we were all for it. So we were on good terms
Right,
at
you're
that
all
point.
for the relationship
We
as
were
long as he
good on
doesn't
terms.
visit her at your house, right?
No, the issue was that we were not on okay grounds at that point.
Right.
The first time we saw him, that same day, he came to the house. We did not, being the adults, we didn't say anything. But every single day, she kept sneaking him inside the house.
Why does she have to? She doesn't have to sneak him in. She pays rent.
Exactly, because we have a no-shoe policy inside of our house. We come home, we see his drawers all over the living room floor and stuff like that. We approach him and we approached her later and we said, Femi, we know you're sneaking this guy inside the house because all of a sudden the house is becoming a mess. Femi is normally a very clean person, but because she's starting to leave the house a mess, this is what's becoming the issue.
Okay, all right, just stop, because this is way too much.
Coming up on Judge Faith, the damages are disputed.
Every single curtain in the apartment cut.
But even though she cut them, you want her to pay you for them, but you didn't pay for them in the first place. You didn't own them in the first place. Don't get me wrong, she's silly, petty, and immature to do what she did, but why should she pay you for the curtains?
Plaintiffs Michelle Danthon and Roselda Newfill say Mia threatened them. They're suing for unpaid rent, property damage, and harassment. Defendant Mia Chipola says she wanted to upset her roommates, and the plan worked. She's countersuing for rent overpayment.
You are suing also for damaged curtains. Well, you're suing for a number of things, but tell me about the damaged curtains.
Coming back from another 12-hour shift, we come home to see every single curtain in the apartment cut in half.
Whose curtains were they?
They were originally her curtains, but we
Okay,
didn't.
so why did you cut your curtains?
I cut my curtains because it's easier to take them down if you do that, and then they don't have to get to use them.
Do you think I'm stupid? I mean, I don't, because I don't understand what's going on here.
Because
Do you think you're funny or you think I'm stupid?
no, I just feel like after so much bullying and name calling and being self-degraded.
So you were upset and you cut the curtains. They're
Yeah, I
your
cut the
curtains. You didn't
curtains.
want to leave them there, so you cut them.
Yeah, I cut them.
There was the vindictiveness behind the curtains. If she took the curtains on the rods, that would have been no issue because, like you said, those were her curtains. But because she cut them in a malicious form,
Right.
and
You want
left
her
it
to,
in-
but even though she cut them, so it's her property. Right? So even though she cut them, you want her to pay you for them, but you didn't pay for them in the first place.
We,
you didn't own them in the first place.
because
I mean, don't get me wrong, she's silly, petty, and immature to do what she did, but why should she pay you for the curtains?
Because originally we never talked about that we were
all
going
right, I've heard enough about that. What's your counterclaim about? You're suing for overpayment in rent.
Yes, because originally the agreement was for the rent to be split 3 different ways.
Can I see the lease agreement that you had, ma'am? Because who's on the original lease for the apartment?
I am.
Okay, and were you allowed to have other people living in the apartment? Were you allowed to sublet?
No.
Did you ever try to get her on the lease?
No,
You just
because-
moved her in?
Yes, because
And you didn't get permission to do that?
no.
You are leasing to her illegally, okay, in breach of your lease agreement, but you want to come into court and sue her for rent.
The reason why was because it was a verbal agreement, so it was a contract, a verbal contract, and the reason why
That you don't have the authority to enter into per your lease agreement.
But the reason why was because she was supposed to be helping my sick mother.
Who was supposed to be?
Femi.
It doesn't, okay, the reason doesn't matter. However noble you want to say they are. I mean, because you've given me, first you said she wanted to get away from her sponsor who she was stripping and wanted to get away from him. That was the original reason when you came into court today, that's what you said. That story has evolved
No, I said no.
during
I
your
said
testimony here
that's
today.
the reason why.
Don't interrupt me. That's what you told me initially. Over time, your testimony, it has evolved. And now it's about this sick family member and you were trying to help her out and all these other things. My question to you was, did you get permission from your landlord, which is required under your contract with your landlord? And the answer is no. So you had no authority. But now you're coming into court and you're asking me to enforce the illegal agreement between the two of you. What do you want to say, Mary?
My name is Felicia Chipola. I am Mia's sister and Roselda's cousin.
Okay.
In April 2014, I put 30-day notice into my apartment, and I was thinking about moving in with Roselda. I went to their landlord. I started filling out the paperwork and everything. I was going to move in there.
Whose idea was it for you to go to the landlord and fill out the paperwork? Who told you about that?
It was originally
So
what we
you
were
knew.
supposed
So
to
you
do.
knew that you were supposed to go to the landlord and get her on the lease, and you didn't. You knew it.
So Felicia was supposed to go on the lease because it was a long-term thing. Because we agreed that Femi would be there for only 6 months.
Does not matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if she was there for 6 months, if she was there for a year. You knew that you had to go to your landlord. Now I know that from this witness's testimony. You knew you were supposed to go and have her added onto the lease, and you didn't. Okay, thank you.
Femi came inside the house after she fully moved out, and she destroyed our shoe rack. Michelle's survival knife is missing, and our property was strewed all over the living room.
Right, but none of that excuses you entering into an illegal sublet, but go ahead.
Okay, and so after that, Femi came into the apartment.
Did you do those things?
No, I did not.
We have video of it.
Okay, what do you
have
mean
a video
she
of me
destroyed
doing the
it?
actual physical thing?
What do you mean she destroyed a shoe rack?
The board that's normally supposed to be like this was broken. And
Okay.
so so that is broken. We see our property all about. The only people who have keys.
Did you move their property and throw it around?
I did not.
You don't
But
sound
she's the
very
only one with the
convincing.
keys.
And we
No,
were
okay.
out the whole
I
entire
didn't-
day.
I
Just like
didn't
you cut
come
the
back.
curtains to make them easier to take down?
I did not break the shoe rack. I simply kicked shoes off of it. That's all I did.
Really, I'm going to tell both of you something from what I've observed here today. Neither one of you are being completely truthful with me about what happened in that apartment.
Coming up, Judge Faith rules. And now, Judge Faith rules.
Your lawsuit is mostly about harassment, $4,000, and you say that she owes you also $766 in unpaid rent for April and those few days that she lived there in May. So you're countersuing. You say that the agreement was when you moved in there, that it was just the two of you. And then she became a permanent resident in the house, and the agreement was the rent would be split 3 ways. So you're saying that she owes you for the overpayment in rent that you paid during that year. So here's what we're going to do. The two of you, well, you're the person actually on the lease with your landlord. You entered into an illegal lease, and I think you're far too controlling of a roommate situation and ordering and controlling things that you have no right to do. And I think you're dishonest. I asked you about the photo that you drew with the people hanging from the tree. And I asked you about why you cut the curtains. And you're obviously dishonest about those things. Nevertheless, this case is way more about drama, right, than the actual claims the two of you have filed against each other. I believe that the rent was probably supposed to be split 3 ways and that she did overpay in the amount of, based on my calculation, about $840 during that year. However, although she can't sue for back rent on an illegal lease, you don't get to come into court and brazenly look me in my face and tell me, yeah, I destroyed the property. It's not okay. I believe you overpaid around $840 in rent, but I'm going to offset that amount and award them damages in the amount of $840. So that means both of these claims offset each other, 0 for you, 0 for you. That's my judgment.
This is horrible. We came here to get justice, and we didn't even get justice. This is horrible.
I think that I like living by myself from now on. It's less drama, and you don't have to deal with crazy people as such as your family.
Today on Judge Faith, a foster father and his estranged daughter are reunited in court.
When she told me that I was the closest thing she had to a father, she walked out of my life a year ago, and I have not seen her or spoken to her since.
He cut me out of his life. I think it has to do with being back with my ex.
There's been one person who has been consistent your entire life, and it's this man who's standing right over here in front of you.
And later, girlfriends let a guy get between them.
Talking to her is like talking to a child, like talking to one of her kids running around the house. She don't listen.
Me and her has been known each other since 2012. I have all these kids by him. She knew about him.
It's not how this is gonna work. I know y'all are from Atlanta, but this is not the Real Housewives. We don't just shout things out and argue with each other.
Faith Jenkins. Her distinguished legal career began when she graduated first in her law school class. She quickly became a tough New York City prosecutor and then a preeminent legal analyst on cable news. And now she's the judge in her own courtroom. Her cases are real and her rulings are final. She is Judge Faith. Plaintiff Frank Blattel says he loaned his credit card to his foster daughter to get her car back from the repo man. And now she's refusing to pay him back. He's suing for credit card charges, interest, and late fees. Defendant Jackie Stock says her father is just angry because she reconciled with her estranged husband, and the remaining balance on the loan was a gift.
All rise. Court is in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding. Please be seated. Your Honor, the litigants have been sworn in. This is the case of Blattel versus Stock.
Thank you, Juan. Frank Blattel?
Yes, Your Honor.
You are suing the defendant Jackie Stock for $935 for credit card charges, interest, and late fees?
Yes.
Okay, why don't you tell me what's going on, sir?
She came into my life in 2001. I was dating her mother, and she was just a little girl then, and then something happened. They went out of my life, and then she came into my life again at 2005.
When you say something happened, did you and her mother break up and stop dating?
Yes.
Okay.
And
so how did you then reconnect with her in 2005?
in 2005, I became her foster father.
Her foster father? How old were you?
17.
17? Okay, and what were the circumstances of that?
She didn't have nowhere to go, and her mother was out of the picture, so I just fostered
Took her in? Okay, what happened, Ms. Stahl?
My mom's never really been around, so I knew him. I was comfortable So I was placed with him.
Okay, how did you find out she was in a foster care?
Through her mother, I believe.
Okay.
And that's when I jumped on the chance because she's like the daughter I never had.
Okay.
But then shortly after becoming her foster parent, she ran off to Arizona and didn't come back till the following year. And when she came back, she was pregnant.
Is that true?
Partially. I was already pregnant when I went to Arizona, and I had my daughter in Arizona, and then moved back to California.
Okay. Did you tell him that you were leaving to go to Arizona?
No, I didn't actually. I
just left?
Took off.
Okay. You could understand why someone would be hurt
Absolutely.
by you doing that?
Yes.
So what happens? You go back a year later and you call him and you say what to him?
I need to come home.
And what did he say in response to that?
Come home.
So what kind of foster parent was he to you?
He's always been great to me. He's always been a good person to me.
Okay. So how did we end up here? What's going on?
Her car was repossessed because her husband called them. I guess what the story I heard was that her husband called the people at the car lot to have them come and get it because he said it was abandoned and was being vandalized after he scratched some filthy names on the hood and fenders of the car.
So what happened? I mean, he was told a story, but what happened?
He vandalized my vehicle.
How?
And he wrote some foul names.
What did he write?
On
And what
the hood.
else?
Whore.
He keyed that in your car?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then he called and had it repossessed.
How was he able to do that? Were you not current on payments?
No, I was, but you can do voluntary repossessions, like a just.
Oh, so he was just being vindictive.
Right, right.
And you call your foster father and ask him for money for what?
It was $750 to get it out of repossession, just with repossession fees and everything.
So you charged that on your credit card? Is that what happened?
Yes, Your Honor.
Right.
Okay. And what did you do, sir?
I took her to another car lot and I helped her get into a 2008 Chevy Impala. And
So you have to buy another car in her name
Right.
that time so it wouldn't happen again.
And I put another $400 on my credit card for insurance for her.
And that was a loan that you agreed to pay back?
The $750?
Both of these items,
Yeah, the
$750 and
$750 I did actually. I made payments on it for quite a while.
And did you have a conversation with her about this? How did we end
No,
up in court today?
Because when she told me that I was the closest thing she had to a father figure, she walked out of my life a year ago, and I have not seen her or spoken to her since today.
So today is your first time seeing her in a year?
Yes.
Well, what happened?
Well, he cut me out of his life. He wouldn't even answer my calls.
Why is that?
I think it has to do with being back with my ex.
Is that true?
Actually, she never made any attempt to get in contact with me at all in a year. The only way I got their phone number is her husband called my house last week and cussed me out for suing him.
I called his cell phone. I wrote over Facebook to his caregiver, and it was, I don't want to talk to you. Don't contact me.
Coming up, Faith helps heal the hurt.
What are you upset about right now?
Him.
Why? This is your moment. You haven't seen him in a year. This is your moment to talk to him.
And later, a battle over a boy.
He slick moved in.
Okay, what does that mean?
Here come days, leave days, come days, leave days.
And then one day he just never left.
Plaintiff Frank Littell says his foster daughter is refusing to pay him back. He's suing for credit card charges, interest, and late fees. Defendant Jackie Stock says she doesn't know because the remaining loan balance was a gift.
Do you love your father?
Yeah, absolutely.
You can understand that this is someone who was there for you when you needed, when no one else was, right? There's been one person who has been consistent your entire life, and it's this man who's standing right over here in front of you. And so you can understand why, when he sees that you are being abused, when you go back to that person who he's trying to protect you from, it looks like you're making a choice. And you know he's not going to approve. You know that.
Right, but it's not for him to approve of. It's my life.
Right. It is your life, but every time you've had an issue and you've needed someone to bail you out, in your life, you've called him. I'm just trying to help you see the perspective of a father and his perspective in this situation, looking at you and being upset because he thinks that you deserve better. He knows you deserve better. He wants you to see that for yourself.
Okay. I mean, I'm happy with my situation right now.
What is the situation right now?
Counseling, things like that. Doing good.
Okay. Why haven't you paid him back the $866 he says you owe?
Because I don't feel like I owe that much, one. And two, I was let go from my job.
Mm-hmm.
So
you didn't have the money? What are you upset about right now?
Him.
Why? This is your moment. You haven't seen him in a year. This is your moment to talk to him.
I just want to fix our relationship.
How are you going to do that?
I don't know.
Is there a way that can happen?
Not right now,
Why is that, sir?
because I'm so hurt for not being able to speak to her for over a year. Just walked out of my life, and like I said, no phone calls, nothing, for a year. And then I have to do this. I have to bring her to court to even see her. It hurts.
But this court case, this case will clear the air in terms of what she owes you.
Correct.
But, and she's disappeared before for a year. You see her now, and you see the look on her face. She has some regrets. She may not say it, but you can tell. She's not proud of some of the decisions that she's made. She's hurting too. You understand?
Yes.
And you've known her since she was 17 years old. She's now 28 years old. I would hate to see the two of you walk out of this courtroom today and not be able to have some kind of relationship.
I believe I could, but I don't believe her husband will allow it.
Yeah. And that could very well be the case, given the fact that when he did the things that he did, you were the person that helped her. And you should not be forced to choose between your husband and the person who's been the father in your life. You don't have to choose. And if someone is making you choose, then you aren't making the decisions for your life as you say you are. Because it appears to me you're making a choice.
See, but that's what I feel like he was trying to do. Because he didn't want me back with my husband. So he was trying to make me choose, and then he cut me off.
Because he sees the situation objectively. You were not looking at it from an objective perspective because there were a lot of emotions involved. You were too close to the situation. He's looking at it like many parents do. There's a reason in most cases when a parent doesn't like someone's significant other, there's usually a reason. This is not someone he wants you to be with. Unless that person has gotten help and has changed, he's a vindictive, immature, petty, abusive individual. People are going to come in and out of your life moving forward for various reasons. But if it's one thing about family, when they truly love each other and they truly care about each other, they're there no matter what. And all I'm saying to you is the one constant I've heard in your life since you were 17 years old is this person right over here. That is not a bridge that you want to burn. Judgment in this case is for the plaintiff, $935. Good luck to both of you.
Love you.
I love you too, Jackie. I always have.
I'm sorry.
I know you are.
Plaintiff Catherine Sanders says her former BFF used bogus credit cards to pay the utilities on their apartment, and now they've been evicted. She's suing for unpaid rent and a broken TV. Defendant Monique Robinson says she owes nothing because the bill split was not fair since Catherine had 4 kids and a boyfriend in the house.
Catherine Sanders?
Yes, how you doing?
Good. You are suing the defendant Monique Robinson?
Hi, how you doing?
Good. For $3,050 for unpaid rent, 3 months of unpaid rent and a broken television?
Yes.
So the two of you talked about getting an apartment together.
Yeah, it was a townhouse.
Okay. And so you move in. Is it just the two of you?
I have 4 children.
Okay, so it was you, your 4 children, and the defendant?
Yes.
Okay. Who else? So that's it.
I had a male friend, but it would just be me and her paying the rent.
Is your male friend your boyfriend? Is that you mean your boyfriend?
My kid's father.
Okay. Why do you have an agreement with your boyfriend, the father of your 4 children, that he does not have to contribute to the rent where you live?
He would give me money on the rent, but it was me and her. My half would be, he give me some money, I put my money together, and she would put her money together also.
Well, so the rent wasn't 50-50, I'm assuming.
Between me and her it was.
So you, with 6 on your side and 1 of her, the rent is 50-50?
Yes.
And you agreed to this?
No, the agreement was that it was just supposed to be me, her, and the kids, and it was supposed to be $800 apiece.
Who's on the lease?
Me and my male friend, the father of my kids.
Who's not paying rent? The 2 of you are on the lease?
Yes.
And not her?
Her credit wouldn't got approved.
But she's responsible for half of the rent.
Yes.
And he's not responsible for any. That's what you're telling me?
He gives me money on the rent just like me and his money get put together.
Why are you suing her? The
reason why I'm suing her is because she didn't pay her half of the rent.
So you didn't have a problem with 6 people, even 5. Now there's 6 people on her side and there being only 1 of you?
I had a problem with 6. I didn't have a problem with 5 being that the kids were like my god kids.
Mm-hmm.
And that we all worked together. And I always
when
had
did you find out that the boyfriend, because he's on the lease?
I didn't know he was on the lease at first.
When did you find that out?
The next month, April.
Was he living there in March?
He slick moved in.
Okay, what does that mean?
He moved
just showed
in
up
on the
one
slide,
night and never left?
Yeah.
Basically.
She said he'll come here and there, come days, leave days, come days, leave days.
And then one day he just never left. Did she ever come to you and say, boyfriend is living here now, this rent should be split 3 ways, I don't feel that this is fair?
No, she never she never came to me about that. Never came to me
Never had a
about
conversation
that.
about it. You say no.
She never came to me about anything.
But did you, at some point you realized that it's not how this is going to work? I know y'all are from Atlanta, but this is not the Real Housewives. We don't just shout things out and argue with each other.
Coming up on Judge Faith, the ladies lose their apartment.
So you think she was trying to sneak move out?
She was trying to sneak and get her things to leave.
How do you know that? What did you see?
She was trying to get her things to leave. She had a big truck outside and everything trying to leave.
You didn't tell her you were bringing a truck to move out?
Plaintiff Catherine Sanders says she was evicted because Monique stopped paying the rent. She's suing for unpaid rent and a broken TV. Defendant Monique Robinson says she owes nothing because the bill split was unfair.
So when did you first find out that she was not paying rent?
They sent me a notice in my door.
An eviction notice?
Yes, saying that I had to either pay all the money or get ready to go to court.
Okay, and had you not had a conversation with her prior to that you weren't going to pay the rent?
Talking to her is like talking to a child, like talking to one of her kids running around the house. Like, she don't listen.
When did you move out?
June.
What happened?
When I got this eviction letter in my door that I had to either pay the rent or get ready to go to court, she came in the house ready to get her things and saying that I was still at the house.
So you think she was trying to sneak move out?
She was trying to sneak and get her things to leave.
How do you know that? What did you see?
Her things. She was trying to get her things to leave. She had a big truck outside and everything trying to leave.
You didn't tell her you were bringing a truck to move out?
No, I didn't tell her at all.
You didn't have the opportunity to tell her that either?
No, I did have the opportunity to tell her. I just didn't tell her.
Exactly.
Because you hadn't paid the rent?
No, I was paying the utility bills. Paying the utility bills was like paying the rent. It was almost $500 water bill.
That's what happens when you move in and you agree to 5 people living in an apartment. They're going to be using the water 5 times as much as you. And you agreed to pay the utilities?
Right, but I didn't think she was just gonna let them run the water, play in the water, do what they want to do. She just let them do anything. She don't got no control over them. Nothing.
These are your god kids. You just said these are your god kids.
They are my god kids, but when I used to come to my house, they didn't do that.
You just spoke so lovely of them. But now you're telling me they're just out of control.
They so out of control. She taking pictures with her. Oh, I love
So
you.
here's the issue.
Why
Here's the
wouldn't I?
issue. One, you have an illegal agreement with her, and you are coming into court and you are asking me to enforce an illegal agreement. The second thing is, you said that she was supposed to be making those payments directly to the landlord, not
could
to
have.
you. No, that's what you told me in your statement.
But it fell
Why are
on
you
me, though.
And that's your problem. That's why you don't enter into illegal contracts.
Coming up, Judge Faith rules. And now, Judge Faith rules.
They're not going to go after her because she's nowhere on this lease. They are going to come after you for this rent. You're going to be the one that's responsible. You should have paid rent. You lived there for that time period. You should have paid rent. I know you thought, oh, I'm paying these utilities. They're sky high. However, the problem that you have is you basically deceived the landlord, this company, when you leased this apartment. You essentially deceived them into renting this place to you by allowing them to believe that it would just be you, your boyfriend, and the 4 children. And because of that, you entered into an illegal side agreement with the defendant, which I can't enforce. No judge can enforce an illegal agreement. It's just unconscionable under the law. Judgment in this case is for the defendant.
This all came down for our friendship. Like, our friendship is ruined. Like, we'll never be friends again. Over rent.
I've learned today that don't go by trying to help a friend out. Go through it the right way.
Today on Judge Faith, this woman's dream apartment turned into a nightmare.
Ever since she bought the building in January of this year, my flight to heaven, which is what I call my apartment, went straight to hell. I came in and my bed is it's drenched. I turned it on the side, it looked like Niagara Falls coming out my mattress.
She was trying to defraud me.
Plain
Plain and simple.
Why did you keep paying rent when this apartment is looking like this?
Faith Jenkins. Her distinguished legal career began when she graduated first in her law school class. She quickly became a tough New York City prosecutor and then a preeminent legal analyst on cable news. And now she's the judge in her own courtroom. Her cases are real and her rulings are final. She is Judge Faith. Plaintiff Danielle Johnson claims her landlady is a slumlord and is suing for emotional distress and damages to her mattress. Defendant Elizabeth Williams says Danielle is a problem tenant and is countersuing for damages to a toilet.
Remain seated and come to order. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding. Your Honor, this is Johnson versus Williams.
Thank you, Barbara. Ms. Johnson, you've alleged a series of incidents with your apartment you leased from your landlord, the defendant, one in which involved your bed being damaged, according to you. So you're suing for $525 for your bed and $475 for emotional distress.
Yes.
Ms. Williams, you are countersuing for $295, the cost of a toilet you say the plaintiff broke on purpose. Ms. Johnson, we'll start with you. Let me hear about your tenancy.
This here is the slumlord from hell. Ever since she bought the building in January of this year, my flight to heaven, which is what I call my apartment, went straight to hell because of her.
How long have you lived in the apartment?
I lived in there for 4 years. And then here she comes buying the place out of nowhere. She should have stayed where she was because she didn't need to be here.
So earlier this year, the defendant purchased the building that you live in? Mm-hmm. And what happened after that?
What didn't happen, okay? First of all, 2 weeks after she got the building, one of her workers, so-called workers, you know, most of them she get from, you know what I mean? That's where her workers come from. One of her workers put their foot through my ceiling in my kitchen.
So hold on a second. After you purchased this building, you started doing construction on the roof?
That's correct, Your Honor.
No. I live in a fourplex, okay? I live on the bottom. She's renovating the one above me. There's nobody in that apartment, okay? Her so-called workers come in there. I'm asleep. I work graveyard shift, mind you. I'm in my bed asleep. I wake up to a hole in my ceiling above my stove and all this debris all over on the floor. Her or her worker did not even have the decency to come and wake me up, knock on my door or nothing and tell me that they had did this. They just went on their little merry way.
Okay, so your workers were doing construction on the apartment above her apartment. And what happened with the ceiling?
What had happened, Your Honor, is we were not only doing the roof and then the vacant unit that was below it.
Vacant.
And
I was in that
Hold
unit.
on one
It's not
second.
vacant. I'm in that unit.
Hold on one second.
Thank you, Your Honor. And what had happened is you know, they're walking in between beams because this...
Stop looking at her. Turn around. Look at me. Calm down. Relax. Okay.
They're walking in between beams because this unit needed major overhaul before I purchased it, okay? And so when they were walking, one of them went in between the beam and the leg went through. So as soon as we found out about it, sent the men down there, we took care of it. I have the text messages from her. Thank you so much for taking care of this. And this is the kind of attitude we deal with no matter what I do.
But that's a pretty serious construction issue when someone's leg comes through the roof of her apartment building
Actually,
ceiling.
Your Honor, no, it was just right in between the beams. You know, it's not like a beam fell down. It's
No,
like
his leg came through my ceiling, and you did not even let me know. I woke up to this.
So you're not contesting. Hold on
no,
one second.
there is no excuse for you. They could have had the decency to let me know. I'm in my bed, sleep. I wake up to this.
He's gonna give you notice that he fell
Hold on one second.
And then, after that, they left her and her so-called worker. Like I said, they don't have real workers. They get the ones from around the way. You know, the one from, you know. They could at least went to Home Depot. At least maybe they know something about the construction. Okay.
So when's the next time? You said that your roof collapsed a number of times. Tell me about the next time.
Before that, we had the February. Everybody knew about the storm that was going to come in February.
Like a rainstorm?
Yes, the rainstorm.
Okay.
We ain't had rain in I don't know how long up in the Bay. Okay? Everybody knew we were going to have a rainstorm. Why do her workers, okay, again, decide to do the roof during a rainstorm? Are you serious? Who does that?
So they were repairing a roof.
Where did they do that at?
So you say that they were repairing a roof during a rainstorm.
It would be funny if I didn't have to come home and see this.
So what happened? Your roof collapsed?
No, we getting there. We getting to that one. We ain't there yet. No, I came in and my bed it's drenched. I turned it on the side. It looked like Niagara Falls coming out my mattress.
So the roof was leaking because of the construction.
They undid the roof, and then the stupid idiot left and didn't even tell nobody.
Do you have
so
any
that they could
pictures?
cover it.
And this is where you're alleging damages to your bed, right? Do you have photos? Can I see the photos?
Oh my God.
What happened with the roof leaking? Did she call you about that incident?
I think it was in a text, Your Honor.
Okay.
I took over the property January 15th.
I'm talking about that specific incident that she's talking about.
I am speaking about that, Your Honor. On January 15th.
That's not a good picture.
On January 16th, I notified...
You won't let me bring that.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm sorry. On January 16th, I notified all residents that we would be having dumpsters delivered on the 17th because all of the roofs on the complex, this is a very dilapidated complex, the previous owner did not take... This is what I've had to deal with.
Hold on one second. Go ahead.
So it needed work, and so immediately, like I said, we closed escrow on the 15th. Letters delivered to the residents on the 16th. Dumpsters delivered on the 17th for the work to all of the roofs of the property to be redone.
Okay, so let me ask, if you were going to do construction, there was pretty serious construction on the roof, why not move people out of their units if there's a probability that a roof could collapse or there could be serious leaks and people's property could be damaged or legs coming in through the ceiling?
Because that costs money. She does the cheap route.
Please, let her answer the question.
No, I haven't done that at all.
Because there seems to be pretty serious renovations while people are living in their homes.
Normally roof construction, you take out a permit, you do a tear off, you see what's going on. This should have been relatively easy when we started into the project.
What sounds like
the first thing you do is tear off, and then you'll find out that you had more damage. Okay, which is exactly what we did. And then you can cover up. Now on Miss Johnson's roof, it happens to be what's called a flat roof. And flat roofs are a lot different than a pitched roof. And when the rainstorm did come in, yes, it was covered, okay, but the water doesn't have anywhere to go when it's on a flat roof, where on a pitched roof it can. So on a flat roof it collected, and that's what caused the problem. However, the roof
What did you do to fix the leak that time, this second incident that she's referring to?
For when the roof leaked, the roof was replaced.
When was the roof replaced?
The exact final date, I don't know, but I believe we finished somewhere.
What date did this incident happen with your
About
mattress?
the 2nd or 3rd of February.
Okay, when was the roof replaced?
It was in process at that point. I believe we were completed by the end of February.
Excuse me.
Okay, so...
There is no excuse.
Yeah, not as long as you're breathing.
Don't talk to each other, ladies. Just don't talk to each other.
Coming up on Judge Faith.
I had to freaking ask permission to even go to the bathroom because the workers was up there standing around laughing and playing music.
What do you have
Maybe
to
if
say
she
about
wasn't
that?
so busy sexting the workers, I could have got this stuff done.
Really?
Yes,
Sexy?
really.
She complained about her ceiling because she couldn't get no.
One thing I don't have a problem with is getting. Maybe if you start sucking on one, then you would get some.
Danielle Johnson says her landlady was a slumlord and is suing for emotional damage and to replace her mattress. Elizabeth Williams is countersuing for damage to her toilet.
Tell me what this is a picture of.
This is the first time the bathroom ceiling collapsed. The first time, mind you. Look, I'm on my way to the bathroom. Thank God the roar came and I jumped back in time that it was gonna, that light that you see up there, that is the apartment above me, the renovation apartment that she's doing.
Wow, there's a hole in that roof.
I had to freaking ask permission to even go to the bathroom because the workers was up there standing around laughing and playing music.
What do you have to say about
Maybe if she wasn't so busy sexing the workers, I could have got this stuff done.
Really?
Yes,
Sexy?
really.
She complained about her ceiling because she couldn't get no.
One thing I don't have a problem with is getting. Maybe if you start sucking on one, then you would get some. Leave that 18-year-old worker of yours alone, and then maybe you would know what it feel like. Get a real man. Get a real man. Leave them little boys alone. That little 18-year-old worker, leave him alone. He barely grown.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna tell his mom on you.
To the judge.
Your Honor.
Okay. Talk
Your
to the
Honor,
judge.
when I was notified of corrections by the city, the corrections were fixed within 3 days.
3 days, my behind.
The city was notified me
I
by
told you stop
email.
sucking on that
Talk
you
to
be able
the
to-
judge.
No time.
Ma'am, talk to the judge.
Welcome to my world, Your Honor.
You are the devil's mother.
Okay, ladies, you have to watch your language. You understand? You're in court.
Yes, ma'am, I'm sorry.
I'm looking at this photo now, and this looks.
That's nothing.
This is a pretty significant problem. This looks like work that needs to be done when residents have been removed from the area, because that doesn't look safe. That doesn't look like a safe place where someone can live when there's a hole in the ceiling. What do you have to say about
Judge
that?
Faith.
Wait.
Okay.
Yes, Your Honor. Unfortunately, that's what happened. The apartment above had, like I said, so much problems. And when you open up the walls, I can see now why the previous owner left this unit vacant for so long. Because when you opened up the walls and water was turned on, unfortunately, water was leaking out of the pipes, okay? And you don't know that till the walls are opened. So when that happened, she notified us, boom, I'm so sorry.
Let me see the next photo.
Excuse me, Judge Faith.
Let me see the next photo.
Wasn't nothing leaking until her construction started. That's my bathroom.
What is this?
That's when the ceiling collapsed, and that's a good picture. You ain't seen when it got bad.
What do you have to say about that?
Excuse me,
Your Honor,
Judge
yes,
Faith.
that absolutely happened, okay? And we
Twice.
came in, we fixed it immediately, we did all of the
But
cleaning.
it should not have happened. That's the problem.
You know,
this is
unfortunately-
inexcusable. She does not have to live in an apartment where the roof keeps collapsing above her head. She shouldn't have to live like that. Would you want to live in an apartment like that?
Yeah,
Would you want to live in
absolutely.
an apartment like that?
I'm sorry, Your
Would
Honor.
you want to live in an apartment where the roof keeps collapsing and your bathroom
absolutely
looks
not.
like that?
No.
That's unacceptable.
Right.
She doesn't have to live like that.
Right.
Let me see the next picture. What is this a photo of?
Those are the big fans that ran for 3 days in my bedroom. Mind you, I was out of my bedroom, sleeping on an air mattress in my living room for a month. Now, mind you, she's upstairs doing construction. Nobody lives up there.
Let me ask you something. Why didn't you move?
Because I had nowhere to go. I work at night.
Where do you work?
I work at a homeless shelter in San Francisco.
What do you do?
I'm a service coordinator. And I'm there at night. By the time I come home, I'm tired. I prayed to God that someone would help me. I prayed, and I had to even remove my dog because he was so scared. And I'm like, it just...
That's against your lease.
It just went on and on and on. She's gonna talk about the dog in my lease, okay? Everybody in the whole complex got dogs. She just moved in a person with a pet bull. What, a pet bull is better than a Shih Tzu? Really? I have a tissue. You just moved a person with a pit bull upstairs. And as far as this,
Is this the bed that you say was damaged?
that's the bed, but those fans were for 3 days.
I mean, I'm just looking
do
at
you know
this.
how cold that was?
I'm looking at this apartment, and you're only suing for $525 for the cost of a bed. I mean, this looks like there was so much more than a bed damaged here. Let's go to the next photo. That's a picture of the mattress?
Yes.
And defendant,
I had
you
just
said
bought
that you
that
actually
bed.
went in and inspected the mattress and the bed, and it was damaged?
Yes, it was, Your
Okay,
Honor.
so she only asked you to replace the bed,
The
which
bed
was
and her pillows.
$525. Why didn't you do that?
Okay, because, Your Honor,
She could be asking for a lot more. She could move out into a hotel. She could withhold her rent based on the conditions I'm seeing in these photos and not pay you anything until this is fixed.
Next on Judge Faith.
when this first happened with the mattress, again, I apologize. And then she said she had 12 pillows or whatever that
13.
needed 13 pillows that needed replacing, okay? So
I'm looking at the damage in this apartment, and you're counting how many pillows she's saying was
She
damaged?
did.
I mean, you're like penny pinching.
Danielle Johnson is suing her landlady for emotional damage and to replace her mattress. Elizabeth Williams is countersuing for damage to her toilet.
She continued to live under these conditions and is only asking you for $525 to replace her bed. Why didn't you pay her that money?
Well, because she was trying to defraud me.
She
Plain
only
and
want-
simple.
She offered
She's
to pay
trying
me
to defraud
$200
you,
if I
and you want her to
cancel the
live
case.
in this unlivable apartment.
No, that was not the case.
How
Your
was she
Honor.
trying to defraud you?
Okay. She told me when this first happened with the mattress, again, I apologize. And then she said she had 12 pillows or whatever that
13.
needed 13 pillows that needed replacing, okay?
I'm looking at the damage in this apartment, and you're counting how many pillows she's saying was
She
damaged.
did.
I mean,
She
you're
did.
like penny pinching.
Yeah.
And I don't get it. Like, this is thousands of dollars worth of damages, and you're concerned about how many pillows
That damage
were on,
was to
were
my
on a
property,
bed?
not thousands of dollars to her property, thousands of dollars to my property.
I'm looking at these photos, and I'm telling you now, there's no way that just a bed was damaged and that she should have to live in those kinds of conditions. There's no way. I mean, the fact, it is unfathomable to me that you can look at those photos, and I can look at those photos, and everyone else, and no one should have to live like that. And you're saying, I don't think that bed is worth $500.
And Judge,
it's no excuse.
Judge, she told me if I settled for $200, she would make everything go away, and I could continue to live there.
No.
Yes, you did.
No, I
Yes,
didn't.
you did. Don't lie.
See, the problem in cases like this, because I think this is horrible. I don't think anyone should have to live in these kinds of conditions, and I think it's unacceptable. She should not have to live in a unit like that. And if you had an ounce of decency, you would have put her up into a hotel and let her move out of that apartment and said, you know what, for the next 2 weeks while we're fixing this roof, you shouldn't be here because it's not safe. If she had been injured, you'd be paying a lot more, lady. She's only asking you for $525 for a mattress and a bed.
Judge,
No. I don't need to hear anything else. I don't need to hear anything else.
As of yesterday, before I came here, the city inspectors who have sued her for 11 properties, the city of Oakland sued her for 11 properties in 2006. There's 3 articles of her about her being a slumlord of Oakland. Not only that, but the city came out right before I came here. And at my back door is feces coming up out of the sewer. They took pictures of that. Not to mention that they're renovating the apartment not above me, but on the side of me. And they're throwing the stuff that they're tearing out of the walls. They're throwing it on the side of the building. There's trash. Roaches
I have a question for you. Why did you keep paying rent when this apartment was looking like this? Well, good. If she didn't, great. She did the right thing. Because there's no way she should be paying to live in an apartment like that. And you shouldn't even expect her to.
Right.
I just want to say, finally, someone can hear my story and decide, because I felt like I was in this alone, like nobody cared. So just thank you just for hearing this and putting an end to my misery and putting just closure. Thank you.
Well, I'm sorry that you had to go through this because first, I love the work that you do. There are not a lot of people who are willing to go into shelters and work with people who are homeless and need help. And I know that's a job that doesn't pay a lot of money. And you probably are in a situation where you couldn't just go to a hotel like some people can when there's construction and things going on in their homes. You know, you don't have the money to go to a hotel, so you're stuck living in a situation like this, and that's what's really unfortunate here. I'm not saying that the roof needs to be built like Noah's Ark, but it should be able to withstand a rainstorm.
Coming up, Judge Faith rules. And now, Judge Faith rules.
You actually have a counterclaim suing for a toilet that you think she intentionally broke in that apartment. I mean, I'm looking at the apartment and everything looks horrible. And I don't want to hear your counterclaim because this case really upsets me.
Okay.
My judgment in this case is for the plaintiff.
Thank you.
I'm going to award you $525, which is the cost of your bed. I think that you could have asked for a lot more in damages from this situation. You're asking for $4,475 in emotional distress. This is not an emotional distress type of case. This is a contracts case. So I can't award you emotional distress. She did breach her contract to you. And in every contract, in every lease, there's an implied warranty of habitability, and I think that was breached. I'm going to award an additional $1,000 to you in punitive damages and have her pay you an additional $1,000 for everything you went through the month that she chose to work on that roof while you still lived there in those horrible conditions. I think it was unsafe, I think it was dangerous, and I think it was a unpleasant experience, to say the least. It seemed like it was a nightmare. And one of my goals in life, I try to treat other people how I would want to be treated. And there's no way, if you or one of your relatives were living in that apartment, you would allow them to stay there while that place looked like hell. My ruling is for the plaintiff, judgment for the plaintiff. My verdict, $1,525 for the plaintiff.
Thank you, Your Honor.